this long for the ride.
Okay, we're recording now.
Okay. I don't know what you guys had planned to talk today, but I did want to ask Larry or whoever about the Zoom mock, or not the mock for St. Louis.
Uh-huh.
And so I've sent it in to the one that you did before, which was very helpful. I'm learning. And I'm trying to set up this weekend to do some test shots. However, we got snow this morning, so I'm not real sure if I'm going to be able to do it. But I was trying to figure out when I do my setup and to take the picture of the booth, I know I want to crop out as much as the front and get in straight. Is it better for me to get as close to that to physically crop that out, or to crop it out after I take the picture? Or
It's
does it depend?
always better to crop after you take the picture because the walls are going to need straightening.
Okay. So don't be too concerned about getting it all cropped out physically. We can do that after the fact.
Right. Shoot just a little bit outside of your booth on both sides.
Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you. And is that go the same with when I'm taking pictures of my glass?
That's another issue. I don't know what your lighting is.
Okay. Probably
I mean,
challenging, but
I mean, there are a couple of different issues. One is if you're going to have the background changed, it doesn't matter.
okay.
If you're not going to have the background changed, then you have to shoot so you have a reasonable amount of background around each piece so the images match afterwards.
Okay. Okay. When I was thinking about doing this, is Larry is taking some of them, send maybe one or two to you, to review and to do your magic to them, and then make suggestions of what I could do to make it easier to adjust them.
Okay.
If that would work.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're going to do that, send me the pictures while you're still set up taking pictures.
Okay. Okay.
So,
Then would I send that to your email or to
yes,
your
email.
Okay.
And
Okay.
then I
All
can
right.
walk you through any changes you need to make.
Okay. All right. Now, if I
Same
do
with the booth.
the same with the booth. Okay.
Yeah, send me the first picture while the booth is still set up.
Okay. Okay. Um, if I am able to set it up, if the weather cooperates this weekend, are you like, I thought I saw something about you doing some surgery. Is that this now, or is that
Now,
another week or two, or?
December 8th.
Okay. Okay. All right. So,
And even
okay. Well,
after, I mean, I'm only going to be out for one day and then I'm going to be working, even though I can't walk. I can still sit at the computer.
okay. Okay. Well, I didn't want to, expect you to do something when you're, recuperating. So.
Somebody growling there?
You might.
Motorcycle going by.
Oh.
I don't know what it sounded like.
I don't know if it was me or what, but yeah. So, okay, that was the kind of the questions I had right now. I do really appreciate these Zoom calls. So, like I said, I'm not able to join, but I do listen to them when I get home. So they've been very beneficial. Thank you.
Good. Somebody's actually listening to and watching them on YouTube.
So I do have another question then. So going to the St. Louis mock jury. So did they actually let you go and listen to Zoom, or?
Okay.
How do they do it?
People are asking about that. You need to call St. Louis and find out what they're doing.
Oh, okay. I just didn't know if you knew from past experience.
No, I know. I mean, if it's like it was last year, it was terrible after the fact because they tried showing the scoring page from Zap on Zoom, and the pictures were too small to see.
Oh, okay. I'll give them a jingle then. Okay.
Yeah. Talk to them because you can probably go there. Do you live near there?
I'm down at Springfield, Missouri, so it's about 3 hours away, but I could do it.
Yeah, it's worth it if you can sit in the room while it's happening. You're going to get more of the jury
Okay.
experience.
I'm sorry, what?
I said you're going to get more of the jury experience.
Okay. Then I'll just pencil that into calendar of getting off work to go do that then. So if I can get in, so for that.
Why wouldn't you be able to get in?
I assume they wouldn't let somebody. Well, I didn't know if for some reason they get there more than 150 people, if they would let somebody able just to come in and watch or.
Oh, I think you just walk in.
Okay.
I don't think that's any
I didn't
big
know.
deal. There of that
Okay.
100 and how many people that they're only going to take applications from, maybe 10% of them are going to show up in person. Nobody goes to mock juries. It's just amazing. I mean, I've attended quite a few of them, and I've never seen more than 15 or 20 artists in the room.
That seems so sad.
Okay.
It is.
Well, I guess I think, yeah, because I just never even really knew about them. Of course, I'm just really getting into the higher and trying to get into higher end shows. So I didn't even know I didn't even know about them. So, but yeah, if I can get in there to see that, I think that would really make a difference.
It would.
To see what they're looking for.
You have to understand something, though. Going to a mock jury is not the same as going to an actual jury. What you're going to see if you go to the actual jury is everybody that applies is at the top of their game. Where at a mock jury, they're more wannabes than are doing.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
But not really. I'm sorry, I lost signal. I'm sorry. So I missed some of what you said.
Okay, what I'm saying is you will see more higher end artists at a regular jury than because they don't need the mock jury.
Okay. That makes sense.
And the pace will be different. There's no critique at a regular jury.
They just look at it, score it, and they're done.
Right. So it happens, it's much faster.
Okay. That gives me some input. So it gives me some more motivation to get out in the cold and set up.
Hey, it's snowing here. You can come here and set up.
Well, it did. I mean, it's not that bad. I mean, it's already melted, but you know, I don't know why, but I'm fair weathered anymore. I guess as I get older, I like that little bit warmer weather. So.
Yeah, that's why I stay in the house now.
So. Anyway, that's all I had. Thank you very much, and I'll just keep listening. I'm trying to see how I can mute it, so hopefully my car's coming around don't bother anybody.
Okie dokie. We can't read that, Court. What does it say?
Hi, Oscar.
Oh.
Why are he saying that? I got a big picture that I'm working on when I see in this meeting. I will blast you later tonight. Don't worry, Kurt.
I know you will.
I'm trying to, it's kind of funny. I'm looking at my old images and I'm looking at and trying to compare to what I do now. And it's just pathetic. I don't know how I was doing shows before this.
Hey, Larry, I wanted to say one reason some artists don't go to mock juries I did the St. Louis mock jury a few years ago. It's a 7-hour drive for me.
Yeah, but there are enough artists that live in the St. Louis area that the room should be full. And the same with any other show that does a mock jury.
Is it what the time and day? Because people still work.
You know, you see, it doesn't matter what. If this is the best thing you could do to learn about what to do and what not to do. So, I mean, it doesn't matter what time of day or, you know, what else you're doing. If you can learn from it, it will increase your chances of getting into shows. Besides, Cindy had statistics that proved that if an artist did the mock jury and then tweaked their presentation based on the feedback they got, they stood a better chance of getting into the St. Louis show. And she ran the statistics. So if it helps you get into a show like St. Louis, which is in like the top 10, why would you not want to go to a mock jury?
I never, I think that I wish the old town would do something like that over here. Because I'm not going to drive, 3 hours drive to St. Louis, 3 hour back, and then it's in the worst time of the year to do it. Because I will be in Florida. So that.
Well, actually, 3 hours isn't bad. I used to go to Columbus. I've been there like 3 or 4 times, and that's 4 hours. And you stay overnight because it's a 2-day jury.
Yeah.
So I worked it out. So I went with somebody and we, shared a hotel room in the same hotel as they were doing the mock jury. I mean, the actual jury.
Hey, Teresa.
Hi.
Hi, Teresa.
Sorry I've missed you for a while. I've been pretty sick.
Ooh.
Well, at least you're doing better then.
I am.
Good.
Yeah. If somebody says that influenza A is, just a bad cold, do not believe them.
Did you get your flu shots yet?
No, I got influenza A.
What's that mean?
Well, it's one of the strains of the flu.
Right.
So,
but wouldn't you have been better protected had you gotten a flu shot prior to that?
Well, if I had gotten a flu shot prior to that, I would have been possibly, but then not necessarily, because the flu shots have made me pretty ill before. So this time I did not win. So I'm back to wearing a mask all the time.
Well, you have to do what you have to do.
Yeah. So how's everybody else doing?
Doing good.
I took a round trip to Kansas, and I didn't wear a mask in the airport or on any of the planes or airports, and didn't get sick. So
good.
Foolish and lucky, I suppose.
It works.
I mean, I still wear a mask when I go into Walmart and Sam's Club.
Yeah.
I was wearing masks. I was wearing a mask at the supermarket till 6 or 8 weeks ago.
I think I'm being lucky enough not to get it, but I think it's more about washing when you go, where you will have less exposure to a possible getting sick with anything. So I try to go in the middle of the day to any of the big boxes. I
Well,
try,
why don't
and
you go when they open?
what?
Go when they open.
Believe it or not, when you go when they open, like it's when it's more busy in here in Chicago.
Really? Walmart
Yeah,
like opens at 7 o'clock and Sam's Club at 8 o'clock.
over here, Costco over in there's no Sam Clubs inside the city. It's only Costco,
Oh, well,
and they open
Costco's opens at 10, right?
10. Yeah,
Yeah, and it's always packed at 10.
and it's always packed at 10. And Home Depot, the contractors are there and first thing in the morning, and those people I really avoid to be around them. And so I try to go at between 10 and noon or 3 to 4, and avoid every weekend. I just do everything that I avoid the crowds, But it's always been like that because it works out for me. But maybe it's just habit for me.
We're getting combination infections. The Children's Hospital has been packed for 3 weeks because
Yeah, they told me that a customer that isn't biotech. She was telling me that yesterday. The older kids are getting really sick, and it's going to be like that for all the adults in the next coming months. That's what they're expecting. Just the worst you
one
want to hear.
child has died from a combination of RSV and flu. So, and
I
high school, half the kids were gone because of illness a week ago. I said half the students are homesick. So.
Larry,
Yes.
is the picture behind you Billy String, and is it one you took?
No, I didn't take it, but it is Billy Strings. Well, I saw him last Saturday. Incredible concert.
We have a grandson who is striving to imitate him and is getting really good. So he introduced me to Billy String.
Strings with an S.
Yes. My voice is still not too strong.
Yeah, his real name is Billy Apostle.
And his grandmother gave him the name, saying he could play any stringed instrument.
He's an incredible guitarist. I've been following him for like 3 years.
Yeah, that's what our grandson said, that he is just absolutely amazing. And well, our grandson's in the military on the West Coast. So he has a lot of downtime, and he spends a good part of it playing guitar with YouTube, following YouTube videos. So he's gotten pretty good. And it was nice to be able to be introduced to someone who, when he sings, you can understand the words.
I was thinking that only happened to people that don't speak English.
No.
Oh, Lord.
There's websites dedicated to how people mishear lyrics.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, the joke is, for 30 years, you've been singing the wrong words to the song.
Yeah.
Until you finally look it up on Google or something and find out it's something totally different, but it sounds the same.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the most famous one is Louie Louie.
So tell.
I don't know. I don't remember it. But that's the one everybody missed, missed the actual words. But there have been a bunch of them over the years. Hell, even the Grateful Dead songs. It's really interesting actually reading the words.
Yeah. So their enunciation was pretty good, all in all.
Yeah, but still, like the song Black Peter, there were lines in it that you made up whatever you thought it sounded like.
Well, I had a Grateful Dead songbook shortly after that record came out, so I knew the lyrics.
I have that. I probably have that same book. It has American Beauty and Working Men's Dead in it.
Yep.
But when they were performing, they said whatever they pleased to.
Well, actually, the best one is the last line in Me and My Uncle, where sometimes Bob Weir sang it and left him dead out there by the side of the road. And sometimes he would say, left his dead ass there by the side of the road.
I always thought it was the latter.
It could be either one at different times.
Okay.
You know who wrote that song?
Wasn't that a Weir and
No.
No?
Mamas and Papas. What's his name?
Really? The that's so different from anything else I ever heard of this.
What's it? John, what's his name from Mamas and Papas?
Yeah. Google is my second memory.
Yep.
I was reading an article about Gordon Lightfoot, and that when he performs, he changes some of the lyrics to the Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald because people. The article talked about the couple things in the song that are not factually correct.
John Phillips,
right.
And then it talked about somebody complained about there's a line in the song where he says the musty hall of the maritime, wherever they held the funeral, and the people, somebody wrote him and said, it's not musty. So when he performs it, he changes musty to rustic.
Did you ever see him live?
No.
I did back in the early 70s.
Judy Collins covered it first.
Which?
Me and My Uncle.
A lot of people did it.
Yeah, well, according to Wikipedia, John Phillips wrote Me and My Uncle in a drinking section in a hotel room with Judy Collins, Stephen Stills, and Neil Young in 1963, and was first recorded by Judy Collins in 1964 in the Judy Collins concert.
There's a Joni Mitchell version of it on YouTube.
Really?
Yep.
That's I'm going to have to listen to one of those. It's just so.
It's not the same as listening to the Dead, though.
Of course not.
The same with El Paso,
which was Marty Robbins.
Right. And actually, I was really disappointed that they never did Big Iron, which would have been another great Bob Weir, Jerry Garcia vehicle. I like that even better than El Paso. But then Bob Weir did Big Iron with another group later on after Jerry passed away.
I'm going to have to listen to that Joni Mitchell version and that Judy Collins version because I can't even imagine either of them singing it. Listening to Judy Collins singing about shooting somebody just strikes me as utterly weird. And Joni Mitchell even weirder.
There was a TV station we got for a while that I don't remember. It was one of those off stations. I think we got it online, but it had the Johnny Cash show, his TV show that was on for a while.
Right.
And, you know, you'd see people like, I forget who it was, but, you know, a female artist who was, you know, barely 20 at the time, you know, who's now 70. And, you know, you see some of these people in their very early, you know, first performances on television.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
and one or two cases, you know, they were kind of like a backup band to somebody.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I saw Neil Young in concert on the Harvest tour, and the opening act was Linda Ronstadt, and she was a nobody back then.
And the Eagles were her backup band for a year.
Wow.
Wasn't it Robert Redford that got his start as a bit player in the Blob or something?
No, that was Steve McQueen.
Oh, Steve McQueen. Okay. I knew it was one of those.
So I'm going to ask you a question about art shows.
What?
Yeah,
I gotta go back to the main subject.
So I post this and I for reviews and I got a mixed review. I don't do it, but I was just curious to see how people are doing this. I've been taking, I don't put signs, Visa, MasterCard, credit card, because some people, I just ask you how you prefer to pay for it, so I'll let them decide. Do you think it's worth putting a sign that you take Visa, MasterCard?
Yes. Yeah, I'll tell you why. Because some people have corporate American Express cards and they can buy things and write it off.
Okay.
So they look for that American Express sign.
That's good to know. Because
somebody told me that when I first started putting up credit card signs. And it's really true. For some people, their biggest sales are with American Express, their highest dollar sales.
Okay. Because I was just curious, because also I'm getting people, this is for modern installations, people are asking me to take Venmo. So
Venmo is owned by PayPal.
Yeah, I know, but I don't care who owns it. I only care what is easy way to get your money.
Well, no, it's not a question of that. PayPal, not family and friends, is secure. If you have a dispute, they'll handle it for you. But if you send money through family and friends, they won't. Whenever I've sold stuff, photography equipment on eBay or on Fred Miranda's forum, if they've paid me through family and friends, I reverse the charges and tell them to pay me again using regular PayPal. I'd rather pay the percent and know it's secure.
Okay, so that was I might add the Venmo commercial part because I want the money anyhow to go to my business account, not to my personal account, then me transfer it to the business account. That's why
Venmo can be problematic that way. It can be reversed.
Okay. But it's always been it's just doing the installations. It's not so much, I don't wear so much people hanging me.
Right. Because you know where they live.
Yeah.
And where their good stuff is.
Oh, God.
Hey, I really like that storage system you posted a link to, Oscar.
Oh, I that I use that for this for my tools for the installations, and it's kind
Right.
of funny when you're walking around and everybody starts saying like a nice. It's a really nice system. It's really but it's really really expensive also.
Yeah.
So that's the only problem. So I always have to buy it in this time of the year when it's on sale. The draw system cost me 240, otherwise it will be $400.
Yeah.
So
I had to buy a second drill because I was tired of walking downstairs to get my drill. So I keep one upstairs and one downstairs.
you want to hear the most crazy thing I've been thinking? I got a set of tools for installations. I got another set in here when I do assembling inside the house. And I'm thinking about buying another set to keep it just from the art shows because I don't want to be taking tools from one end to the other end and then suddenly,
And you're missing something when you need
yeah,
it. Yeah, I know. Absolutely.
yeah,
I hate taking things out of my van, my art, anything art show related out of my van to use it.
Right.
yeah. And
Right.
yeah,
I mean,
And
I have
it,
a duplicate set of strobes, one in the living room for photographing anything larger than jewelry, and one in my office for photographing jewelry. And it's exactly the same heads and power pack. And the
uh,
same with the tripods. I have duplicate tripods with tripod heads from Really Right Stuff.
if I take stuff out of the van, I try and take a bunch of stuff out and leave the van open. So, it gets put back in.
Yeah, that's
because I use the band for the installations and getting to the ladder with the stuff with the arches in there is really hard. I need to take out what I think is the artwork out. Don't but the panels, the tin, the weight stays in the band all the time. The only thing I'm taking is just the artwork out. So and that goes to the storage unit and when I go to the storage unit, when I leave, it has to be empty. So I know that everything is back into the band. So
Well, my studio is a corner. Right now, it's a sixth. Soon it's going to be a third of a 36 by 40-foot building with 14-foot ceilings that has a lot of stuff in it that I don't need. So stuff gets lost real easy once it comes out of the van.
and sorry, I just booked 2 jobs. So I'm trying to put in the calendar.
Hey, Larry, I just looked up on YouTube, me and my uncle, and Billy Strings covered it.
well, Billy Strings covers a ton of Grateful Dead songs.
Okay.
They're one of his influences, especially the way he performs in concert.
Mm-hmm.
Some of his songs have 15-minute solos that he got from listening to the Grateful Dead.
I can identify.
There's even a video somewhere of him playing with Bob Weir.
Ooh, that might, well, I'm going to hear him
Yeah,
first before I hear that, but that could be interesting.
The joke is when they see Dead and Company with John Mayer playing Jerry Garcia's role,
Mm-hmm.
they ask him if Bob Weir is his father.
It's been fun, folks, but I've got some stuff to do this afternoon before I crank up my Zoom this evening. So,
All right, if I'm still awake, I'll see you later.
all right.
Be good.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
I think I'm going to go listen to a couple YouTube videos. I'll see you later.
Bye-bye, Frank.
Bye, Frank.
Bye.
So, are we ending?
I don't know. It's only quarter of.
Yeah, I know, but that doesn't mean we have to stay for 15 more minutes. It
It's up
really
to you.
depends on where the discussion is going.
So are we meeting on next Tuesday before Thanksgiving again?
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
how are you going to do once you get your operation? Are you going to be still doing this, Larry?
I hope so.
Or-
I'm going to be sitting here working at the computer.
Okay.
I mean, I can't not work for 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
No, I don't think that too many people can do that.
The
You
other
know.
the other issue is it's going to be hard for me photographing stuff because I won't be able to walk around.
Mm,
So
you will figure.
So I don't know about that, but I will be working at the computer. I'm working on images and whatever. And because my operation is on a Thursday, I shouldn't miss any Zoom meetings.
Okay. You was asking. Oh,
Yeah.
that respond me. The show is Sun Valley.
Oh, I've heard of that, but I don't know anything about it.
Sun Valley is a retirement area.
Well, so is
is
Florida.
yeah, it's a senior city.
Right.
Yeah, I was trying to. I was telling Larry that I'm trying not to do shows with Amy, and I just trying to, you know, and why not to go west in August instead of staying where I'm doing all the time. I know it's been working, but Uptown, I want to replace Uptown. There's no morning glory, so I was thinking if I can do Park City and then some Valley, stay that area, and then just do if I get lucky enough to get in high desert and Art in the Pearl, it will be awesome. So it will be 4 shows in 5 weeks. So it's doable. But that's what I was thinking. Oh. Oh. So I got another question in general. Did you guys ever at the end of the year evaluate where you were, where you were, where you are fair, what shows to do, not to do, what you can improve, what you did wrong through the year, or this is just me overthinking everything?
Yes.
Just yeah.
It's you overthinking.
Okay.
I mean, inherently, you know, if you did a show that you'd never want to go back to, so you're not going to apply to it next year.
Yeah, correct. That I know for sure. But I'm looking uh at the what you call it, the edges, the little things that you don't pay attention, like the sandwich. It's one of those things.
You know, I make notes all
Mhm.
the time. When I was doing shows, I kept a notebook for my sales, but I also used it to write notes on what I'd need to do.
Yeah,
So,
and that's what I'm trying to do. I just working out because I did. One of the reasons why I've done so well this year was because this winter, the previous winter, I was in Florida. Some friend of mine started telling me things that I was not noticing that I was doing, and I tried to correct it. So now I'm more conscientious of what I'm doing, how I'm presenting my work, and everything else that I'm doing in general. But I don't want to sound like I'm overthinking it because I don't think about any of those things when I'm doing the shows. I'm thinking after the show.
when you're sitting at your desk now at your computer, do you have a notebook there?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I've always kept a notebook by the computer.
Yeah, it's really old fashioned to do it. My friends say that, but I always have it right
Really?
here. Yeah.
No, I'm talking about an open pad right here next to my mouse.
Yeah. I always keep it.
Yeah, so I don't have to think about it. I can just write it down.
Yeah. So, and I always keep a list of the things I need to do and don't do, you know. And the other thing is, like, I always think about when you're traveling far distance, you have to, it's just me being me. It's like I want to make sure I got everything with me and covered A to C before I leave.
Well, that's the thing about having a vehicle dedicated to shows.
Yeah.
Like Court was saying, never take anything out of the vehicle between shows.
I try not to do that when I'm doing the shows. I don't take anything out, um, but this time of the year, the only thing I'm doing is just our installations. All the art stuff comes out, you know.
Right. Right.
It's and out of the fact that my insurance agent doesn't want me to have my installation tools in the band at the same time that all my artwork at the same time. So like that would be really, really bad. It's like if somebody's going to borrow the band, let it just take one of your living hoods, not both. So
Right.
So that's about it. But that's what I've been thinking. And most likely I won't do anything else after this thing. So just thinking. I got 2 more jobs this week. And I was thinking I was going to be able to see Black Panther on Thursday. It's not going to happen now.
Obviously, you watched the first one, right?
Yeah.
I was kind of disappointed in it.
Really?
Yeah. Kind of boring.
I think it was good. It's just like some of those movies, I don't kind of watch them more than once. So, which it's entertaining when you see it, but not uh doesn't mean it's really good. So we see what happens. Well, folks, I'm going to let you go because I need to take care of the little girls behind me. They're
All
being
right.
too quiet.
It's good seeing you.
Nice seeing you.
So I guess that's it. And then there were 4. All right. I'll see you guys next week.
Okay.
Thanks, Larry.
All
Bye-bye.
right. All right. Bye-bye.